When a lambda function is invoked and when it runs, all the information you see on the console here, like the starting request ID, every lambda function gets a request ID. It has a version that says it is the latest. So as we keep deploying our lambda function again and again, there will be different versions. We can run a specific version if we want to. And then the end request ID, the duration it took, the billing duration, the memory size that was allocated, and the maximum memory it has used. All this information is available in an object called context object. This context object is a part of the Lambda core library which we have in the pom.xml. See this dependency up top, the very first dependency, AWS Lambda Java core. That guy has this context object. And if you go back to the data types, you can use that context object as an additional parameter on any of these methods. Context, not from swing text. I want it from AWS Lambda, that guy right there. Let me select that, call it context, and I will show you the import. Go up top, com, Amazon AWS services, Lambda runtime. So it has the invocation information, it has the function information, all the AWS Lambda function information, and then the execution information, like what you see on the console here, the duration, the memory left, the time it is taking to execute, and all that. You can go to the Lambda documentation to know more about it. We'll use certain functions on it. If you Google for AWS Java Lambda context, AWS Java Lambda context, you will go back to the AWS Lambda documentation. You already know this documentation. If not, if you Google for it, you will go there. AWS Lambda context object in Java, and it has all these functions using which you can access the invocation information. See this? Get remaining time in milliseconds. Returns the number of milliseconds left before the execution times out. So let's use all these, and then I will show you the timeout and a few other things that we can play around with. So if you go back here, go to the end, you can use the context on any of the Lambda functions, but I'm using it on the last example that we have. Even before this code is executed, I'm going to add some sysouts here. Sysout context dot get request ID. We already saw the request ID on the console. I'll copy this, paste it a few more times. Get next one. Let's get the function name. Let's also get the time related things, remaining time in milliseconds. Get the memory details, memory limit in MB. And there are more. If you go back to the documentation, there are a lot more. See this, get logger, get client context, which will have all the client information, get identity, log group name, which will give us the log group, the CloudWatch log group, and so on. Let's use one more, say get logger, and see what comes back. Or get log group name, save it. Now go back, do a build. Says build failed. Let's see what the problem is. Compilation problem. There is a bracket expected. Okay, there is a red mark, so we can always fix that right here. I have additional brackets. Save it. Let's make sure the red is gone. Go back, clear this up, build. Once it finishes, we should be able to run and see the Lambda information. Run it. See this? So all the invocation information, the function information, and the execution information is available, and you can use it appropriately in our applications.